Conversations that the TV studio helped me come up with the name. I'm from Rainham, and I've been thinking about doing a show for years, and I've always found a reason to avoid doing it, but I'm going to do it today. Well, there's different things I could talk about. It's springtime. The weather's finally a little warm today, and we had a tough winter. It was over 100 inches of snow in Boston. I'm guessing there was more snow here than in Boston. We still got probably a good foot of snow on the ground still. I have a few notes that I'm just going to read through. I was supposed to bring somebody in, but then I kind of told them to, you know, they could. I don't know. I'm here today on my own, and then maybe next week I'll have somebody, hopefully. So I grew up in Rainham, and I went to Rainham schools, and then I went to school in Bridgewater, and then I went to college. And then after college, I came back to Rainham, and I've lived in various other places. And Wednesday is a good day. This is so 3 o'clock right now, and I just had a piano lesson, and I've been taking piano for a year. So this is a good thing to do after piano. I have songs in my head. I was just trying to play. It's a Mexican dancing song. It's like I'm playing that one, and then there's some other song I think Pavarotti sang, which I'm learning, but it's still basic stuff, but it's still difficult. And then well, I have a half an hour to talk, so I'm just going to keep talking. It's kind of like when I'll go to like a dance club or something, or a local restaurant or bar, and I'll just jump out and dance, even if nobody is dancing, and I'll be like this, dancing. People are looking, and eventually people dance after me, maybe about midnight or something sometimes. Sometimes nobody will, and I'll just keep dancing on my own. So I'll look at my notes here. I'm interested in pyramids. I have this idea to build a pyramid. I've been taking an art class in Bridgewater for the past 2 years now. It's more of an art studio. It's a North Star Studio. It's with an art teacher from when I was in high school. Yeah, and when I first went in there, I says, I want to make a pyramid, a big Egyptian pyramid. And he's like, well, why don't you draw it out first? So I drew it out, and that lasted a few weeks, and then he's like, well, let's try to make one. So then we made one out of cardboard, and it was kind of tall and pointy, and it was small. And then we're like, well, I wonder what the actual dimensions of the one in Egypt are, the one in Giza. I've never seen it, but I've seen pictures of it and read about it. And the height of it would be, I don't even remember the dimensions anymore, actually, but we made another small one that's more along the dimensions, and then we made a bigger one. These are all out of cardboard. And then we made a big one out of wood, and it's maybe a foot or two tall and maybe 2 or 3 feet wide. And then I'm like, well, let's make one out of stone. And I don't know anything about stone cutting, so we've never got that far. So I'm like, well, I want to make one. Maybe the state wants to make one. So I went up to the State House, and I met with the VFW. I says, let's make how about we build a cemetery, military cemetery or something, and put a big pyramid in there. So we've been talking about that. I sell wampum jewelry. It's made out of quahog shells. I have this catalog. I've been passing it out lately. Usually in the spring is when I do the marketing. It's you can see it. It's wampum. We make it out of quahog shells, and there's different pages. There's earrings and necklaces and bracelets. And I have like my introduction story to it, and then the prices. This is retail, covering my face, but retail, it says all items don't include tax. So I've been passing that out to people. From what I've read, wampum means white or a white bead. We have quahog shells. Maybe it was made with the white part of the quahog shell. There's other types of shells. There's channel whelk shell. It's like a spirally shell. A quahog, I think I might have shown it here. Some people pronounce it quahog or quahog. it's this purple, or it's this purple shell. There we go, right there. You might see them on the beach in Cape Cod. I know that they're in Virginia and New Jersey. I've heard they're up in like Nova Scotia or something like that. But that's what my dad's been doing for 40 years. So I help with that. Let's see what else I have here. I have something about abstract expressionism. I guess that's probably some sort of art form from my art classes, because I got into painting. I've been doing paintings. Now I'm doing like some sort of sketchbook drawing. I don't have my sketchbook, but I've been learning how to do that. And what else do we have here? I made a model of like a flying bird. And let's see what else. I've been going to Jewish events in Boston. My dad's Jewish, my mom's Catholic, and I've been doing genealogy research about who my family is, where we come from. And we don't have a synagogue in Rainham. There's one in Taunton that I used to go to a lot when I was a kid, but not so much lately. And I started out also going to St. Anne's Church right up the street, a Catholic church. And we have another church in town. It's the Stone Church, and that's like a Protestant church, but that's the first church that there was in Rainham. And I went in there I think two Decembers ago. They have a craft show every December. And I wanted to introduce my wampum jewelry there. And then they have a piano in there, and then I get interested in taking piano lessons again. So I've been taking piano lessons from Mrs. Calvin, and she was, when I was like in second grade, she was my music teacher at Merrill School, and then I did the recorder. It's like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like the recorder, and then I was in the chorus in Merrill School, and she was the chorus director, and I remember, I don't know what we sang, but I think I sang lead in one song. Trombone, I played trombone in elementary school, and then junior high school when it was at La Liberty. Now this is the middle school. This was a sand pit when I was growing up. And I don't know what they were using the sand for, maybe highways or something. But from what I read, this was a big, huge hill. There's a little portion of it still left up there, Smooch Hill, in all the old maps of the town. And it was, I don't know if it still is, the highest point in Rainham. I don't know if that's changed since they took out most of the hill. So, what else do I have here? I'm a tennis player, and I've been playing tennis most of my life. My dad built the clay court in the side yard that was my mother's vegetable garden in the 70s, sometime in the 70s. I'm born in 1973. And, it's natural gray clay from Bridgewater, and it's a lot of work to maintain. And can't use it now because it's not indoor, and once the winter comes, it freezes, there's snow on it, and it'll be usable sometime in May usually. A good Memorial Day weekend to maybe Labor Day weekend, so that's like May to like September is the general range that you can play outdoors on the clay. There's two hard courts right behind here at the middle school. You can't play when school's in session, but when school gets out later in the afternoon and the weekends, you can play tennis there, but not now because it's full of snow. We used to have I went up to Harvard. They have indoor tennis courts, but you have to be affiliated with Harvard, and I'm not at Harvard. My sister went there. But we used to have Rainham used to have indoor tennis courts, which is now the flea market. And from what I'm told is that the owner died in a plane crash in 1978, and that was it for the club. And I somehow remember Grossman's being over there. I don't know if it was at the same spot. And now it's the flea market. If you go in the flea market, you can see, I think there's 6 or 7 tennis courts still there. But I play tennis over at the Lakeville Athletic Club now. It's a bit of a drive. It's about 20 minutes. Sometimes I take lessons there, or I do Tuesday night drill, or I hit with individual people. I'm also on the men's B team there, and I think we're in second place now. We were tied for first. It's a long season. We have 2 more matches, and the top 4 teams make the playoffs. I've mostly number 2 singles. I was number 1 singles, but another guy from Bridgewater is number 1 right now. So playoffs are in May for 2 weeks if we make it. They're still in May regardless. I've been playing tennis tournaments, and I'm ranked right now, I think 18 in New England, but that doesn't mean I'm the 18th best player. But there's about maybe 200 or 300 people who play. It's the Men's Open USTA, New England. There's 200 or 300 people who play in the group, and the more tournaments you play, the better chance you have of accumulating points. And the more points you get, the higher your ranking goes. And I have, I think, 180 points. The number 1 is 418 points. So some people I come across are going pro, but I mean, they're like in their 20s. I'm 41, so I can basically forget about that. The age range for pro in tennis is about 15 to 35, 15 to 40 maybe. And the top level pros are typically in their 20s. Now you can be older, like Federer's 32 or 33. But he hasn't won a U.S. Open for years still. But because of the new racket technology and probably better health or whatever, food, you can play longer. But tennis, you can play your whole life for the most part if you keep your health up. People play into their 90s. They have tournaments. What else is there? Germany. I have something about Germany. .de. I was in Germany. I've been to Germany a few times. I've been to Europe, 9 times now. I'm thinking Iceland. I want to go to Iceland. They have thermal, volcanic outdoor spas. I like spas. Jacuzzi, steam room, sauna, pool. I go up to Stoughton to use it mostly, and Randolph. I keep hoping someday we're going to have like an indoor-outdoor sports facility in Rainham that's modern. I've been trying, but it's millions of dollars to do something like that. You got to find the land, got to find the energy, people who want to do it. So maybe someday it'll happen. That maybe someday it won't. I've wondered too if Rainham will ever get it. So in high school, I used to go to Bridgewater, Rainham. I graduated in '92, and now it's the middle school. They built a brand new multi-million-dollar high school across the street. I've been in there for concerts, and I think that's all I've been in. But I do wonder if Rainham will ever build their own high school in the future, or a college, or you can go as far as the 8th grade in Rainham, then you got to leave. When I was growing up, I had a whole group of friends from this neighborhood, because I'm from this general neighborhood, and all my friends either went to BR or Coyle or BP or private schools. Some dropped out, but once you hit 8th grade, your friend group will split. It's the way it is here. So I moved back a few years ago, and absolutely everybody that I grew up with, that I hung out with, has moved away. So I've been trying to get to know new people. I just recently started passing out my catalog to people, say this is what I do. Maybe, because I sell mostly to stores. I sell to Plymouth and New Bedford and Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard, and then people up in upstate New York. But there's no stores anywhere in this entire area that I sell to, and I think it's kind of strange that local businesses won't support a local business, but that's how it is here. It's a seashell, and people, when they go, I guess, to Plymouth or Cape, they want to buy a portion of that to take home, and I'm like, well, why can't you buy it when you're at home, and then but that's the thinking around here. I've been also thinking about the concept of countries, and when they start and end. It's like .de is for Deutschland, for example. .us is United States. .cn for China. .su is the Soviet Union, but the country broke up a year after they got it in 1990. And when countries start, they have AA to ZZ, and the country picks a country code. It goes through the UN, and if it's approved, then they have a new country. It's called a sovereign state. I've watched the European Union develop. When I first went to Ireland, I was 16. I was on the Bridgewater Soccer Club, and we flew to Shannon Airport. I stayed with a family in Cork, in Cork County for a whole week, and we played soccer all over Ireland. Killarney, Blarney, Waterford, probably a bunch of other places. Their country code is .ie for, I think, Erie, but that's what it is. But when I was there, it was the Irish pound was their money, and it was from the old English pound. But they joined the European Union, and I think it was in 2001 maybe. They switched to the euro. I'd never heard of the euro, and I went to Estonia and Germany in 2003. But when I was in Germany, they had the euro, and I was like, I've never heard of this. But it's been growing in Europe. I know in the Azores they have it too. That's part of the European Union. Well, the U.S., we've been through this growth in the 1700s, so they're trying to play catch up with what we've already done over here. And then there's the way they run their system over there is it's a nomenclature of territorial statistics, and they have 98 territories, which are nuts one level, which would correspond to, like, say if Bristol County, Plymouth County, Norfolk, maybe Cape Cod and the islands were to join into a region, that would be the first level. Massachusetts would have like Southeast, Northeast, Capital Region, Central and Western, for example. If we were to do that here, and then all services would get grouped into these regions. Rainham, there's another thought too. Some towns will partner with cities and towns in foreign countries, like Bridgewater partnered, I think it's a Japanese professor at Bridgewater State, partnered Bridgewater with some Japanese town. And I went to town hall and I asked about it in Rainham. I says, why don't we partner with Rainham, England, for example, or somewhere. I asked to partner with Rome too, but that's a big city. They won't. You could partner with a small town. So say Rainham, England. So I called over to Rainham, England, but it's different over there. We're named after them, and it's in Norfolk County. It's the East region. East Anglia or Eastern England is the region over there. But they have East Rainham, like South Rainham, West Rainham, but it's part of, I think, Fakenham, part of Norfolk. It's confusing. This town started in 1731, and I'm looking at the clock still. I got 12 minutes, so I talk for 12 more minutes. So, 1731, we incorporated in Boston, is my guess is where we incorporated. Back then it was King George II. This is like a history lesson now. Yeah, I'll talk about that. I'm in the Rainham Historical Society. I'm also in the Old Colony Historical Society in Taunton at the Bristol Academy building. But Rainham was part of Taunton, but before all that, there was Native Americans here. This would have been Wampanoag area, I'm guessing, or Massachusetts area. It's part of the Algonquin people that covers the whole Northeast. Other than, I think, like New York, which is the Iroquois, they call themselves the Haudenosaunee. I think it's a different or somehow similar language group. But here we have Titicut Road. This is the Rainham Middle School, and Titicut Road is what it's on. Titicut, I don't know if it's obviously a native, it's an Algonquin word. I think it has something to do with the water, because I know the Taunton River, in old maps it says Titicut. We have Titicut Street in Bridgewater, we get Titicut Street in Middleborough. Taunton, when it first started, it was like 1637, I think, and Elizabeth Poole came out of Boston, but she came from England. But she moved to Titicut. It's like T-E-T-I-Q-U-E-T, which is East Taunton, over by the, I think it's Rico Lake now, but that's a Rico Pond. That was a dammed river, but she was over there. And we have the Wampanoags. They're around here. I grew up with one, but he moved to Idaho. They have a land in Martha's Vineyard and in Cape Cod. And then, yeah, but My mother's family is French Canadian, and we came here in the 1600s. I'm a descendant of, it's called Filles du Roi. It's Fillesduroi, which is Daughters of the King, and they are a group of girls, and they're like teens and 20s that were like 6 or 7 or 900 of them were sent on ships paid for by Louis XIV. He's the French king from who built the bulk of Versailles, Chateau Versailles, outside of Paris. And there was a group of soldiers over here, which I'm descendant of too, up in, well, Quebec now. And it was like 3 or 4 or 5,000 soldiers came over here. And then they needed women, so they petitioned the king, and he sent them over on ships. And I think like maybe 2/3 of the soldiers went back to France, but my descendants stayed here, married. It's possible we might have married in with the native Indians in Canada, or I don't know. I just ordered an Ancestry.com. It's like a DNA test kit. You spit in a tube that they send you and you mail it in. It's like, and then they're going to tell me like where my ancestry comes from. My mother tells me that, well, her family's from Poland, so but they're Catholic too, and that would have been Slavics. There's rumors that part of them came from England. In the 1500s, it was Henry VIII, and he wanted to have a son. I think it was Catherine of Aragon, but she didn't have a son. She had a daughter, so he petitioned the Pope to divorce her. He wouldn't let her, and so he separated from the Catholic Church and created his own religion. And then he married another lady and another one and another one. He never ended. He had some son, but he didn't live very long. And from what I'm told, they demolished all of the monasteries in England, and then anyone who was Catholic, basically, you had to convert to Protestant or Church of England or leave. So I'm told part of the family left Poland. And then in the 1800s, that Polish came over here, married into the French. And then my dad's Jewish, and it's Freeman. That family comes from Odessa in the Ukraine. And I'm told he had brothers and sisters, and they came over too, but I have no records of who they are or their names. I'd like to find my cousins. Hopefully I could. I found a few from my grandfather's brothers and sisters. And then my father's mother's Jewish too, and they come from Belarus and Latvia, like that area, Eastern. And when they came over here, it was the Russian Empire. It was the Tsar Nicholas II. And I believe he's the one that they got rid of in 1917. And then Stalin came in, and Lenin came in, and it became the Soviet Union. But now it's back to Russia and Ukraine and all these other. Here I have something about gefilte fish. That's a type of ground fish that you eat. Passover's coming up at the full moon, which is I think next week. It corresponds around the time of Easter. It's a springtime festival. I have the pizza party in Massachusetts. You can register to vote on the pizza party in Massachusetts. I started it. You can be in the Republicans or Democrats. The pizza party, those are official political parties. I have a political designation. I originally was thinking to call it the Wampum Party, but I keep thinking someday to start that, but that's what it is. And somebody just left me a voicemail message, the person who was supposed to be on here, and I can't answer. Guess I could. Let's see here. I can call and see. This is the person who is going to be on the show. I'll call him, see if he answers. I have five more minutes, so I'm going to see if he answers the phone. Let's see here. These smartphones are nice. I have an iPhone 7.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
What?
What's going on?
You had Roger's number. I lost his number.
Roger? I can't give it out right now, but I have you talking on the show too.
What?
It says next week you're going to be on the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 3 o'clock next week. Let me call you in about 10 minutes.
Let's write this number.
I can't give it out right now, but I'll give it to you soon. And hopefully you bring. So, those are one, maybe two people that will be on the show in the future. I don't know what else to talk about. I was in New York City. Here's a bag. It's like a lighthouse. I found this bag. I was outside of the Plaza Hotel. I was in New York. There's a pianist, Kristen Hoffman, and she's a singer and pianist. And I went to watch her give a concert. And then afterwards, I was walking around Central Park in Times Square too. But it was what, 19? Took a walk around the Plaza Hotel ballroom, and it was January 1st, 1994, and I went to it was a debutante cotillion ball, the New Year's ball at the Plaza Hotel. I was in the Coast Guard then. I was in my full Coast Guard drill uniform. I was at the Coast Guard Academy back then, and I was invited to this from the debutante cotillion in Washington, D.C. That they have for 60-something years now. But that's still going on. From what I'm told, the one at the Plaza Hotel ended the year that I went, and that was it. And I've asked, it's the Fairmont Hotel, and I asked them if I could bring it back. They said, sure, give us your guest list, or your party number, and this is the fee. And I've never been able to do it. And I was like, well, what if we did it in Boston at the Plaza Hotel, the Fairmont? Same thing, guest list, money, or party number, money. It's ballroom dancing. I took a few ballroom dancing classes. I've done it a little bit. I took one at Harvard last year. But it's around here. I'll go to a local clubs. We don't do ballroom dancing. It's mostly just bouncing around. They play like club music, hip hop, or techno, and not usually in Bridgewater. Sometimes in Rainham, but over at Bridgewater they have the college, and there's more people that want to go out and I'll sing karaoke over there. I know, like I usually sing the Doors, like "Come on, baby, light my fire." I just thought about the Songfather that they have on Facebook, and he's always singing on Facebook, and it's a good. I kind of like that. I play guitar too. I have something about oregano and garlic, so that's cooking. Art pencils. Oh, here's something about the Holy Roman Empire. I figured out how that works. It's 3 archbishops and I think 4 monarchy. And then I have about a minute. I kind of figured out the Roman Empire too, or Rome. They have a Vestal temple, and it's a fire temple in Rome. I went over to Rome. And I says, why don't we rebuild the Vestal Temple? In Latin, it's the Itus Vesta. I took Latin in high school, so. And they're like, okay, well, talk to the archaeology department, and we'll think about it. I haven't been back since. There's somebody in Ljubljana, Slovenia. It's the capital of Slovenia, and he was or is a tour guide in the Roman ruins there. And he made this paper money. It's called Sestertium. I don't have it on me. I don't think what I have here. Here's something I got. It's a battery pack for your cell phone. You plug it in and it recharges it. One more minute. I was in Berlin. I was walking around the area that they were going to build the Volkshaw, which would have been a huge central congress. That never happened. They didn't have a good plan. Part of the reason I made the pizza party, I'm like, well, what if there was political parties that were based in food? Everybody likes to eat. You could make one about sports. I was talking about something. We have 30 seconds left. Hopefully I get a guest in the future. It would be nice because then I could be like, oh, 1 or 2 people. They could talk and explain what they're thinking about, and that would be nice to hear also. So again, my name is Josh Freeman. This is the Rainham channel. This is 2015. It's Community Conversations. Have a good day.